Hi, Eve. Yay, we have a good picture. Woohoo! So I think I got the bad picture thing figured out. Woohoo! So we're going to do some more work on an old canvas this morning. We'll give everybody a minute. Anybody else besides us who are going to show up, we'll give them a minute to show up. Hey, Shell's the expat. Hey, how are you? Yeah, it's much better. After the disaster that was last Monday, I wasn't going to even try on Wednesday until I figured out what was going on with our internet service provider, and it was the internet connection. So, hey, Dory, how are you? All right, so before we get started, we're going to do a couple of standard things that we do all the time. First, we're going to talk about supporting my channel because, I gotta make some money somehow, and pay for my habit addiction. Art supplies. For those who don't know, I wrote a book. It's all about living a creative, self-expressive life. It doesn't tell you exactly how to do that. It asks you a lot of questions to hopefully get you to figure it out for yourself. Anybody who already has a copy knows if you read it, it's very much like sitting down with me with a cup of coffee and let's have a conversation about what you want to do that's creative in your life and why you want to do it and how you can do it. And that's what this book is about. It's full of full color artwork and photographs with lots of space for writing and note taking. You can buy it in my Etsy shop. The link is in the description below. If you do it that way, you get this copy and it's signed on the inside. You can get a paperback version of it on Amazon.com or a Kindle version if you go over to Amazon and just type in my name, Gina Ahrens. It's going to pop up. And this is the paperback version from Amazon. So it's a little bit smaller. And the artwork inside is a little bit smaller, but it's still got plenty of room to write on. For those of us who aren't young anymore, the print is still, a good size to read. And there's plenty of, room around the edges to color or doodle or whatever it's meant to be written in. This paper in the Amazon version is a little thinner than the one you get from Etsy, but it's still workable and doable. So anyway, I'd appreciate it if you guys go shop at my Etsy shop or Amazon or something. Second thing. Who watched Shemi Dixon's video this morning where she talks about her little Swatch book? I did, right before we came on. In fact, I was almost late setting everything up because of that. And I forgot to turn the autofocus off. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now it won't go in and out, in and out, in and out. All right, so Shemi Dixon did a video about a little Swatch book. If you haven't seen it, go over there and watch her video. And hey, Cindy. Hey, the Shelley Studio. Hey. So if you haven't seen Shemi's video, go watch it. As I was watching it, light bulbs were going off in my brain. Cindy, you know what this is like lately because you're doing it too. So, I remembered that I have this in my desk drawer in the office, this little mini binder. This is actually from Avery. I got it like a million years ago. I am not joking. And it does say Avery on the side. It has a little pocket on the inside back cover. I think I got it at Staples, but I don't remember. And I don't think they make it anymore. And fun fact, when my daughter was like 5, she decided that mommy's little binder needed decoration. So she stuck these chickens on the cover and they've been there ever since. One of them's lifting. I'm gonna have to glue them down. Anyway, I remembered I have this and that what paper that was in here that was written on, I had taken it out. It's full of blank paper. Some of it's, aged and stained. That's fine. But I could make some sort of a little like swatch book or list or something, like when I'm in Las Vegas or somewhere again with my friend Cindy and we're shopping, I don't come home with duplicates or triplicates of something I already have. So I may do one of Shemi's little books in this binder. I only say May because I've done sort of a reference book, swatch book before. It's part of Journaling Crazy Island style over in Crazy Island University, but it's a really big book. And the problem with is not creating it, it's keeping it up. And I seem to have sort of a mental block about that. So, but I do have this little binder, so it gave me the inspiration. I might actually do one in it. Isn't it cute? I don't think you can get them anymore. If you can, I don't know where. All right. That's enough of the spiels, right? All right. So now we are going to get started, and we're going to protect our hands first. So we're going to put on some invisible glove or some Art Guard or whatever. I have Winsor Newton's Art Guard. Whatever kind of barrier cream that you have, use that. Yeah, so Cindy agrees with me. And you probably all, if any of you who have done one before will probably agree with me. Doing it's not a problem. It's keeping it up every time you get new stuff in. That's the part I have a problem with. But I do have this little binder, and it did inspire me to maybe do something with it. So rather than just have it collect dust in my drawer. I won't take the chickens off, though. All right, so there we go. We're all covered now. And I'm going to put my apron on because I have a brand new shirt on, and I don't want to get paint on it. So let's put the denim apron on. All righty. Now, first we'll talk about the photos. These are all photos I took when I was in Lake Tahoe over the summer, and I want to use them as inspiration to do some sort of kind of abstractish landscape kind of thing on this canvas. Oh, go get your tea. You have time. I'm still chit-chatting. I haven't actually painted anything yet. And I have to dry this a little bit. So this was an old canvas. It actually had a spoon glued to it, a wooden spoon. Let's see. This one right about here. And I pulled it off. It did leave a hole in the canvas. You can see where some of the canvas stuck to the back of the spoon. So I did patch the canvas with another piece of art canvas on the back using some gel medium. And I made sure it was stuck down good on the back with the gel medium. And then I flipped it over and made sure that it was stuck on the front side too. Very good. Then I went ahead and added some coarse texture gel, some modeling paste, some gel medium that had glitter and seed beads in it. Just to, you know, it's already going to be textury. So I thought, well, let's just do it. So it's still a little bit wet, so we're going to dry this a little bit before we get started. And if anybody has any questions, it's a good time to ask them. Did you all see that? I think I turned on the heat gun and I think a seed bead went that way. Oops. So yeah, Eve, around my house, if I really love it, then I make sure to seal it with varnish or something, some kind of sealer, and then it can't get painted over easily. But most of them are not sealed because, especially when I first got started, like when I did this one in 2011, so 5 years ago. I didn't put the month, but my guess would be almost 6 years ago. I had no idea you were supposed to like seal canvas. I didn't know, to protect the, you know, paint and all that. I had no idea. So lots of the old canvases, they're not sealed, which is probably a good thing because they're kind of ugly, to be honest. I don't think it's completely dry, but we're going to just go with that. I moved to the garbage can, so in the corner of the camera, you guys wouldn't see the inside of the garbage can. It's just not attractive. But I went to go drop stuff this way, and it's not there. That won't work. And I've been repainting these canvases because I'm hoping, like with the purple Buddha, that you guys decide that you like what I've painted and you want to buy it. I need to sell some of them. Okay, let's get started now, shall we? Now, normally I would probably go over here with like some Stabilo pencil or something, but some parts of this are still damp and I don't want to move it around more than I already have. So we're going to avoid, we're not going to do that. We're going to skip that step. I'm going to do sort of a painterly outline though, and I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use this Americana paint. It's called Asphaltum. I just love that name. I don't know why, but it's this really interesting gray brown color. Hey, Corey, you haven't missed anything. I just got started. So we're going to put some out on our plate here, and we're going to use this brown color to sort of do our outline. I need a paintbrush. Would be helpful, wouldn't it? And yes, if you hear an obnoxious noise, it's because I have a cough drop in my mouth. So the idea is just to do something kind of abstract, inspired by the photos. I don't want to be too literal. But most of these were taken in and around the lake. As you can see, taken during sunset. And oh, how pretty was it? I can't even tell you. Lake Tahoe makes me sneeze and wheeze because I'm allergic to pine trees. But it doesn't stop me from going there. So I just want to create something that suggests the light and movement in these pictures. No, I'm reusing an old canvas, Corey. Yeah, I'm allergic to pine trees. And I have to say that's nothing that was caused by my injury at work. I've always been allergic to pine trees. So yeah, it kind of sucks, especially when you live in like Pine Tree Central, known as California. kind of horrible. Pine trees, olive trees, and there was another one. Pine trees, olive trees, maybe pepper trees. I don't remember now. It's been a while since I had that kind of testing done. Let's see. So this one has these like ripples in the water, and I keep kind of looking at this one, but I like the trees that stick up in these two. I couldn't really decide this morning when I got started. And I was printing these. Well, at first I was kind of panicking because I couldn't find the photos on my hard drive since I switched computers. And you know, I shouldn't do that because I know they were on there somewhere. It just was a matter of me figuring out where that somewhere place was. And this is going to be, you know, the wrong color for a lot of this, but this is just a base coat. I'm going to be, you know, switching things up, and I haven't planned this more than printing the pictures and prepping the canvas. Might turn out looking like poop. I don't know. Tomorrow, so you guys will get a heads up more than other people will. Tomorrow, there is going to be a bonus live broadcast. I'm going to be getting my last journal for 2016 ready. And I'm going to discuss what doodle books I plan on working in next year and that sort of thing. So it won't be actual a painting video, but yeah, that's coming up tomorrow. So I think we're going to just do it live, because honestly, live is easier than I don't have to like edit things and make thumbnails and to be honest. All right. Now. Let's get out some Paynes gray, which I love. You know, I'll know it's my favorite color. I've got the DecoArt Traditions paints also. I'm going to try to keep the paints separate so that at the end of the broadcast, I can go back in and edit in the colors I've used for you guys. One of my favorite colors across a lot of brands, but especially the DecoArt Traditions, this is Indian Yellow, which is like an orangey golden yellow, which I really like. And then what else are we going to get out? I think we'll get out the tomato red. I really like in this one how you have these dark reds in the sky. And I have to tell you, this photo doesn't do it justice. It was so bright and colorful. So it's tomato red. And you know, I'm going to stick some aquamarine in there because you know I just am. Now, if you wanted to do something like this using an inspiration photo and just doing it very abstractly, and you wanted to maybe, you know, even though it's kind of a lake scene with trees, but maybe you want to do it in like purples and, you know, pink. So just print your photo in black and white so that the natural color doesn't like distract you from where you want to go. And I'm glad. Yeah, I like live streams. They're fun, they're easy. And now that we have the issue with the connection strained out, you know, AT&T, you gotta love them, right? And I do think I need to switch to a different brush because I need to let go of some control. So let's do that. Okay. So I have this big flat brush, this is a folk art brush, and I don't know what size it is. The paint handle's like completely covered. Palette knife, and yes, a spoon. I know you're all like, what the hell is she going to do with a spoon? Watch. This is a plastic spoon. It came with some food that my husband and I got at a local Vietnamese restaurant the other night. Let's see. And I think I'm gonna do some sort of YouTube thing soon where I challenge you all to do some artwork without any paint brushes. I think that sounds interesting. So remember, even if you're doing, you know, sort of an abstract water scene, whatever's above the water is going to be reflected in the water, right? So whatever you do up here, you should do down here. And this is just the first layer. So, you know, just be free with your marks, and you don't worry about it. And you're thinking, ooh, that kind of looks like poop. Well, you know, it's the first layer. There's always an ugly duckling stage. Sorry, my husband is texting me while I'm live broadcasting, and it's showing up on the iPad, which you guys can't quite see, but it's kind of funny. I swear his hearing is going this weekend. I kept having to repeat myself. He wasn't hearing me. I'm not sure. It could have been selective hearing, but I don't know. Hearing loss does run in his family, so I don't know. Okay, now before I add any blue, the aquamarine to this, I want to dry these because I don't want to add the aquamarine and then get a lot of purple. So back with the heat gun. And you just want to take the shine off of the acrylic paint. That's probably good enough. Okie dokie. The image was really bad, Eve. Today it's much, much, much better. And yeah, it was just so bad. There was no way we were doing that. It was so bad. Now, because my mediums underneath weren't completely dry, I'm getting little pebbly things that are lifting up into the paint. I'm actually kind of okay with that, and I may pick some of them off as we work the canvas. I may leave them on. They just add interest and texture, so. Yeah, I started out with watercolors, so I get it. I started out with watercolors because they were inexpensive and less messy. You know, they didn't take up tons of room. So I just want to put like a base coat of this aquamarine in the sky. I'm not going to cover up everything that we did or the collage in the original background, but now, normally I would have the mediums be completely dry, and then you could really go in here after you put some paint on, and you could, you know, really move things around heavily with a baby wipe. Because the texture mediums are not dry all the way, I have to be careful with how much I do. Yeah, you know, we shouldn't be afraid of texture. Texture is one of the fun things about doing mixed media. And, you know, I love how like Andy Skinner uses, you know, crackle pastes and things in his regular artwork. You know, he doesn't just crackle furniture. You know, that's old-fashioned thinking. You really can, you know, take these and do anything with them. In fact, something like this with crackle paste on it would be really cool. And that's already looking very cool. I like it. All right, I'm gonna put some white on here. I'm gonna put it right into the aquamarine. And I'm gonna mix it, but I'm not gonna mix it all the way. So I know you can see my plate in the corner. It's mixed, but there's lumps of white showing in here. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna take my brush and I'm going to there's little pebbly things like moving around on my canvas. Probably seed beads. I'm gonna make sure I'm getting the edges as I'm going. Okay, I think I need more of that white. Oh, that was an attractive sound. I think we're gonna need some green at some point. I know, isn't this color pretty? That is the DecoArt Media, Traditions Artist Acrylic in Aquamarine. It's got to be my favorite DecoArt color, honestly. Now you notice I covered up all the brown. You can still kind of see some of it. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Let's see, I'm going to just do this. I'm going to take some of my paint white and put it in some of my Paynes gray. I like to have, I want to have the water be cooler. I don't know. I wanted a different color blue than the sky. I don't know if I want it cooler or warmer. This is pretty warm up here. We're going to try the Paynes gray down here. This is Paynes gray and white. Now, not all Paynes gray paints are created equal. Some of them are more blue than others, and some of them are more black or gray. Every brand is different. The DecoArts is pretty blue, and I like that. I prefer it to be blue. And like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, this is a old canvas that wasn't done very well the first time. If I screwed up this time, it's fine. Probably was headed for the trash bin anyway. So whatever happens, it's fine. Make sure I get the edges. Okay. Now, when I'm doing canvases like this, I don't always do a lot of cleaning of the paintbrush. I don't mind the kind of secondary accidental colors that we get. They don't bother me. One thing about using all these texture pastes and mediums is that you use up a lot of paint getting into the nooks and crannies. The one thing in this, if you're going to do like one of these scenes where you show the shoreline, that is the one thing that you want to have be a straight line. Where the earth meets the water will always, or the sky meets the water will always be a straight line. So that's the one part you want to have kind of be straight-ish. Is straight-ish a color? I mean a word? Maybe it is. It is. Now, and it's supposed to be abstract. We're not trying to paint exactly the photos in, you know, from Lake Tahoe. I'm just using them as inspiration. You know, if I wanted an exact representation of those photos I took, well, I'd blow the photo up and hang that on the wall. This is supposed to be an art piece. And anybody who's visited Lake Tahoe knows it's really all about the lake and the water and how beautiful it is, how blue it is. So this painting should be all about the blues and the water. I love what's happening too. And you know, I haven't planned it. I don't plan things, generally speaking, not very often. And when I do try to like really work like with a plan, then I really struggle with the results. I'm usually not happy. to be really honest. I really like the work better that comes out when I have no plan. I know that's probably kind of goofy, but. And when you do these kind of water pictures, water scenes, or water inspired pictures, you're going to use a lot of blue. So I wouldn't put too much out on your palette unless you have one of those stay wet palettes. But definitely don't put the tubes away because you're going to need them. So the, you know, modeling paste and texture paste help create, you know, some movement and depth, of course. And then the way you apply the colors help do that also. And like if I'm just using blues, like this is more of a blue green, it's a lot warmer than the Paynes gray, which is a lot cooler. So this one adds a lot of shadow and this one adds a lot of light. I think Cinnamon Cooney just did a video on that recently, didn't she? Maybe. That's a little bit too much like the sky color, but now I got it on there, so we're gonna make it work. It's a make it work moment. And if some of these base layers were drier, I would just wipe it off, but they're not, so we can't do that. I'm gonna add some brown. I don't suddenly though, even though that was kind of probably an accident putting that turquoise on there, I'm kind of liking where that went. Don't forget, if you have any questions, to ask them. I'm running out of clean surfaces to put things on. And look at my baby wipes again. My least favorite medium. That's a great question. And it's one that might surprise you because I know it's one of your favorites, most of you. Ink sprays. Any of the sprays, they're not my favorite. They're messy. The things clog all the time. They drive me up the wall, to be honest. I would rather water down some paint or some watercolor, but I do own some ink sprays. I owned more. I sold some of them off. They're not my favorite. I know that's probably shocking to somebody. So I'm going to take out some black. And of course, we're going to add purple because, you know, purple is just my color right now. I don't know why. So, you know, it's not complete without purple. So dioxazine purple. And look, I have no more room on my plate. Yeah, so the sprays are not my favorite. I don't mind oil pastels. I did sort of have to take a couple classes to learn how to use them, but I don't mind them. They're not my favorite, but they're not my least favorite either. So I want to start with the purple because I don't know, I just do. Oh yeah, that purple just makes things pop. See, colored pencils, if you just had me use colored pencils by themselves, kind of not my thing, but that being said, I like using them in conjunction with like paint and, you know, collage on a mixed media background. Palette knife. You guys just knew that purple was going to come in here somewhere, didn't you? At some point. I mean, honestly, it seems like purple is just my thing right now. Charcoal. I like charcoal. Charcoal's fun. You have to seal it though. See, I just think this is all about the purple. I love the purple. It is messy, and it honestly, and it makes me cough and wheeze. But I love charcoal. My favorite way to use charcoal, though, is in a charcoal pencil. That's a lot of fun rather than charcoal sticks. Charcoal pencils are more fun and less messy. And they can be smudged and move around with water or mediums, like your Stabilo pencil. Okay, I'm going to move some lights around. Hold on. Let's see. I still have a glare. It's better. The glare is better, but it's not completely. Yeah, charcoal. Try a charcoal pencil, Cindy. I think you might like it better than traditional charcoal. Lots of people don't like traditional charcoal because it's messy. But I have charcoal pencils somewhere. Yeah, here's one. You know, they're one of those ones where you peel it back. It has a string. And charcoal dust is fun to put on a page and rub around with your fingers. And then, you know, like paint a picture with your fingers. It's very expressive. Yes, that's a good idea. Got some packs of new Pentel aqua brushes. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, that's better. There's still a little bit of glare like in the camera, like I can see right here, but it's also really wet right there. I like where this is going. It's not going where I expected it to, but I like where it's going. But isn't that generally the way of things? Okay, let's grab just a little bit of that Indian yellow, and I'm going to mix it into the white. I think I should just give up trying to find a clean spot. What do you think? So sometimes when I do palette knife work, you know, I want to leave the marks that the knife leaves. Sometimes I want to smudge them with a baby wipe. In this case, we're going to do a little bit of both. Right? I didn't plan on that, but it does. And it's very, you know, intended to be very abstract. So, you know, we're not looking to paint a realistic portrait of any of these photos. You know, it's suggestive of a landscape. You can kind of tell that's what it is, but exactly what landscape, you don't know. It has a lot of depth, which I wanted, of texture and color, and I did want that on here. So remember what I said, whatever's up here, if this is a water scene, it needs to be reflected somewhere, in some way, at least a hint of that same color and movement down below in the water. It doesn't have to be in the exact same shape. The color should be similar, but it should be reflected there somehow. I remember the first time one of my teachers told me that, and because I was working on a water scene and it just wasn't coming together for me. It wasn't quite right. And all she said, she didn't tell me how to fix it. All she said to me was, remember what's above the water would be reflected in the water. And as soon as she said that, I went, aha, and I knew exactly how to fix it. Oh, thanks, Cindy. I'm just playing, honestly. All righty, let's see. Let's grab some of our blues, I think. So I don't want this too dark, but I don't want it. They will. Just keep practicing and playing. They will. I'm lucky so far for the most part on camera when I'm doing this that things turn out, because it seems like when I'm painting and the camera's not on, I struggle more. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not thinking about it as much because my mind is occupied on making sure I'm watching the chat. I don't know. It's interesting though. So there would be a big shadow right here because whatever this tree or mountain shape is would be reflected in the water, and there would be a big shadow right here. So you want to kind of dirty this area up a little bit. Oh, I got some yellow in there. I don't know that I wanted that yellow in there, but it's in there now. I don't necessarily want it to be as dark as this up here because then I think that's too dark. And then it just looks like a blob. So I'm going to put some of the color and then I'm going to move it around with my baby white as much as the wet canvas and wet texture paste will allow me. And I'll just keep adding paint layers and moving the paint around until I like what I see. Those of you who don't know who Pauline Agnew is, she's a really fabulous teacher out of Ireland. She has a couple of abstract painting classes coming up, paid for courses that seem like they're really fabulous. I've taken a lot of classes from her. I missed out on the abstract one because I was busy writing the book and the timing was not good. But I am planning on trying to take it next year. I'm going to introduce another color. I know that's like insane. I'm aware of the fact that that might be a little nuts. I haven't used the green yet either. This is, what is it? True Blue. It's a cool blue. A bright but cool blue. And see, that just gave it a little pop. That's what I wanted. And using a non-traditional tool like a palette knife, the spoon, that will help you free up your marks because you can't get too precise with them. You really can't. It's really just a matter of making marks and laying the color down in the right place. I kind of like what's going on down here, so I don't want to do too much to it because I'm kind of liking what's going on down there. You would think by the look of these baby wipes that I can't afford more baby wipes. I have a whole box of them. That's not true. Oh, I like that. Okay, I do want to add a little bit of this green. And again, I'm just, you know, this is very textured. I'm going to get you guys a close-up when we're done. Things will be wet, but you'll see what I mean. It's very, very textured. Plus, I'm using a palette knife, so you can't get in close. You can't really make proper marks. It's just too textured. You can't. You'll never get it in there. Yeah. And I kind of like being able to tell that there were pages, squares of pages collaged into the background. Not only does it add to the texture, but it's almost like there's a secret message back there behind the painting. So this is just black. Be careful with the black. Don't go overboard. See how far you can get your painting without using any black. You'll find that if you keep, you know, the black to a minimum and you use your really dark, cool colors rather than black, that you'll probably paint something you're a lot happier with, in my opinion. Again, that's my opinion. People may disagree with me. There's nothing wrong with black. I use black, but I usually only start using black at the end. If I feel I need it, which I don't always. Now, this is the time, if you're going to do a piece like this, that you can introduce a pop of a neon. And, you know, really think about it. I was watching a bunch of videos last night and trying not to fall asleep because I was really tired. But I was thinking about it, you know, your pop of neon or your pop of color doesn't have to be paint. You know, it could be neon glitter suspended in gel medium or something like that. Wouldn't that be fun? And that's probably something I'm going to try in the near future, because I got that idea last night and thought, I really like that idea. I think I have to try that. Remember to wipe off my yellow before I dip in the red, so that I get more red and less orange. Not that orange wouldn't be okay in this, because it would be, but it's not really what I'm shooting for. Everyone is quiet today. How come you're all so quiet? Nobody's asking lots of questions. I did like that one question though that Eve posted. I hope you're all quiet because you're painting and working on projects while you're watching the broadcast and or listening to me. That would be so cool. That might be too much red down there, so I might have to take some of that off. Just FYI, in case you're like thinking, ooh, I don't know about that red down there. Yeah, I don't either. It's okay. This is acrylic paint. So the nice thing about acrylic paint, unlike watercolor, is it's all about layers of marks. So, you know, if you get a color in the wrong place and you can't get it all off because everything's too textured, like that's the reason I can't get it off. Or maybe you've waited too long and it's dry. Just go over it with another color. It's just going to add interest to your final piece anyways. Finishing up Inktober. Yeah, I have to finish up my October doodles today because that little doodle book has to go into my journal tomorrow when we do the live broadcast. So I need to finish that up this afternoon. That's going to be my job this afternoon to do after I get the mail. Yeah, and you know, bonus on this painting, I have all of these like texture pastes and gels. When I first got started, I thought, you know, I had to have them, and I didn't really use them. So I've got them though. I should use them up. Ah, stitching pamphlet books, cool. Oh, good, Maria. I'm glad. I don't know. I think this is pretty cool. Let's see. What is this supply most regret buying? That would be, there would be a few things. So Prismacolor pencils, I know a lot of you love them. I am not a big fan. In fact, I sold all of mine. The way, you know, the old ones are great. The new ones break. The leads break all the time. They drive me crazy. I don't like them. Hey, Ian. So I am not a fan of them at all. Texture paste and gels, I thought I had to have them. I barely have used them. So I kind of regret buying them. What else could I say? Sprays, any of the sprays. Again, I thought I had to have them when I first got started. Not a big fan, you know. I'm using the texture mediums. Like, I didn't hate them so much that I sold them all, like with the Prismacolors. So I'm using them. Why I thought I needed jumbo jars of some of them, like glass bead gel, I have no idea. Hey. You know, when you first get started, the trap that you get into is thinking that you need one of everything exactly what the teacher is using. And that's probably the number one thing. So if you're new to mixed media and you're new to art, what the advice I would give you is go buy a small jar or see if you can get a sample before you go out and buy a big giant jar of anything. Try it, see if you like it, before you go invest a ton of money in a bunch of stuff that you maybe are going to not like. Go find your local art supply store. A lot of times they'll have things like Prismacolor pencils and Neocolor 2 crayons in what they call open stock, which means that they sell just one or two of them at a time rather than having to invest in a set. And that's what happened to me, Eve. That's exactly what happened to me. I didn't see any of the bad reviews until after I invested in them. And then I ended up selling them because I was just so disgusted with them. I just was tired of making them work. And I asked for something different for Christmas, which I'm much happier with. I have more Derwent pencils now, which I prefer. I just didn't think the Prismacolors were worth the money because they were just so hard to work with. So I'm just using up the extra colors on my palette and making sure I have all the colors that I want in the places that I want them, which I think I do. I like it. It's messy, but I like it. I haven't yet, but I've heard good things about them. And, you know, if you use a product, lesser expensive product, because you're on a budget and you create something you really love with it, then make sure you scan it. That's the only thing, because they're, you know, it's probably not archival, which is fine. Just make sure you scan it. Yeah. So I'm a big Derwent fan. I'm also a fan of Indigo Blue and a lot of things British. So which might make sense if you look at the family tree, since part of my family's immigrated from London. So. Okay, wait, I missed something up here. Posca pens, I have a love-hate relationship with. I sold some of them to Cindy. I have some. They're so hard to get in the States that they're not, that's one of the reasons, main reasons they're not my favorite. They're also not refillable. So every time you run out of something, then you have to buy a new one. And that's not, you know, I'm kind of about that. So I prefer either a Molotow marker or a just a Sharpie if I'm going to buy something that's not refillable. But yeah, Inktense pencils, I love them. They're fabulous. I have a set of Inktense pencils. Now the blocks, I'm not a big fan of the blocks. You know, as you all know who've been watching me for a while, I tell you I'm the lazy crafter. I do not like to have, you know, things I have to fuss with too much. And the Inktense blocks, they work great, but you know, the container they're in is just horrible. My phone is buzzing. It's going to have to just keep buzzing because I'm live with you guys. I don't know who it is. It's probably political again. Drove me crazy all week. They're calling the house number. They leave long messages. Seriously, call somebody else's phone. I do absentee ballot. I voted already. Not that there's any good choice. Get blown up by Russia or lose, you know, go back 50 years in women's rights. I don't know. We won't talk about that. We don't talk about politics. This is no politics zone. All right, I'm going to stop because I think I need to stop before I mess up something. Because I'm kind of liking the way it looks. It's very abstract, but I like it. What do you all think? Yeah, I love my Sharpies. I still have, I started with Sharpies. I still have Sharpies, whether it's a Sharpie paint pen or a Sharpie marker. I love my Sharpies. Yeah, I'm going to zoom in. And they're easy to get. Okay, wait a minute. Let me move it. I know you're all going to say, well, wait, it's out of frame. Whoops, other way. I might be able to zoom in a little more even. Hang on. Oh, nope, that's it. It won't go in anymore. And I love the texture and the you have definite movement going this way. I love that. And the depth of color, and yeah, I just love it. It's not poopy, go figure. And look, I look like I had a good time. If there's a problem with the audio now and then, Ian, it might be because I'm walking away from the webcam and all the audio is going into the microphone on the webcam. So when I walk over to the desktop to zoom in, you can't hear me because I'm too far away. I know, right? Well, now you could do this in all shades of blue. You could have your blues be your focal color. Maybe do the sky in a different color. You could do greens. Oh, sorry. I was that older sister, Maria, so sorry. But I love it. I love it. So I'm gonna just let it dry for a couple of days and then I'll seal it. It'll be up for sale. It is up for sale. Of course, it'll be sealed before it gets shipped if it sells. You can private message me on in my email address at artist@ginabahrens.com. That should be in the description below. You can also get me over on Facebook. And any of the other ones you've seen me paint on here, they're also, everything's for sale except for my journals. All the canvases are for sale. You're over it, kinda. That's funny. I was the older sister, so I can't say anything. But I wasn't a torturous older sister. I was the one that cleaned up everybody else's issues. So, yeah. Now you could put a little pop of something neon in here. I don't feel it needs it because we have these little bits of Indian yellow and the red showing through, so I don't feel it needs it. But you could, of course, do that and really make it pop and put like neon orange or something on there. Or like I said, you could mix a little bit of neon glitter with some modeling paste after the paint dries and put a little bit of that on there. That would be good too. So are we talking, oh, the sound is like an electric spark sound? I don't know. So I have the sound turned off, so I have no idea what you guys are hearing. I only know that the only sound device I have on is the mic in the webcam. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything more to it. And anything staticky and weird sounding, like I said, you might hear is because when I have to walk away from the camera to the desktop, those mics should all be off, no guarantee, but that's going to sound very different because it's trying to pick me up. I'm too far away. Neon glitter is really a thing, Eve. It is really a thing. A lot of manufacturers make neon glitter, including Martha Stewart, who is the glitter queen as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, there is a thing such as neon glitter. If you can't, for whatever reason, get out to your local craft store, go to Amazon. I know because I saw it on there last night. And yes, I ordered some. I don't need more glitter, but I had to have the neon. Okay, so some people are hearing some weird sound and some aren't. I don't know what to say to that. I'm concerned about the picture and that you can hear me at all, and the picture is great. So yay. We'll get this new computer thing figured out yet. All right, that's it for today. You guys don't forget the most important thing. Play with your paints, have fun with them. Don't be afraid to just make a mess. And what if it turns out ugly? Oh, well, so then you just have a base for a new painting. Not a big deal. Don't be afraid to get messy. I think I might need to clean my wedding ring again. All right, that's it for today. Go out and have a great day. Do something nice for yourself because you deserve it. Don't forget to vote. If you're in the United States, you got to vote. I did absentee ballot. And that's it for right now. Go watch Shemi's video because it was really interesting. And she used something different, but I have this, so I might use this. All right, that's it, you guys. I will talk to you later. Have fun today. I am going to clean up my mess now. Holy cow.